Posted by you/crazy theater chick. I, 34F, have been in a relationship with Finn, 47M, for a little over a year. I live on my own, and he lives on his own, but occasionally I spend the night at his place. Finn is handsome, fit, funny, and charitable. His kindness was what caught my attention. He was just a very thoughtful and kind man, and I love that about him. I struggle with PTSD, so I don't feel comfortable with intimacy until I feel safe and trust that person. Finn said he understood and didn't press it. We didn't start getting intimate until 2 months in, but I was pretty drunk, so I was upset the next morning, and he comforted me. He didn't get angry or blame me at all. After that, we had a healthy bedroom life. I was adamant that he wear protection every time. Once, while we were in the middle of playtime, he asked if he could take the condom off. I said no, and he said that it wasn't feeling good to him and that he was unable to finish with one on. I said no again. Afterward, he didn't cuddle or hold me like he always did and said nothing to me. I got up to get water and asked if he needed anything and leaned over to kiss his cheek. He shied away from my kiss and muttered, "Oh, now you care about me?" I asked him what that was about, and he told me he bends over backwards to make me happy but doesn't get to feel good because I won't let him not wear a condom. I told him I am very worried about pregnancy. I live in a place where terminations are extremely difficult. He said I am on birth control, so what's the issue? I said that's not 100%, and he knew it. I grabbed him some water and told him that if he got a vasectomy, we could talk. They are reversible and accessible. I just cannot get pregnant. We didn't discuss it again, and he even apologized for being a jerk the very next morning and took me to the spa. I apologized for ruining the night, and he said it was all right, and we kind of moved on. Everything was great, and around the 6-month mark, he said he thinks we are getting serious and that he considers me his partner, and asked about the condoms again. I reminded him of my requirement for that, and he said he had to think about it. About 2 months ago, he had a work trip that lasted a week and a half. When he returned, he was all over me. At the time, I was going through a difficult depression. I suffer from depression, and sometimes it gets really bad. He seemed annoyed and made a remark that I was punishing him for missing and loving me so much. He held my face and started kissing me again. After going back and forth for a few more minutes, I just gave up, and we had playtime. In the middle of it, he asked if he could take off the condom, and I said no, but he said he had the vasectomy. He was so excited to get me in bed that he had forgotten to tell me. I stupidly said, "Well, all right then." After that, he would forget the condoms altogether. Then, my cycle was off. At first, I figured it was stress, a change in diet, or a billion other possible reasons, but this nagging feeling came over me, and I got tested. I was pregnant. He found me crying on his bathroom floor and asked what was wrong, so I told him. He smiled and laughed, saying, "Really? That's so amazing, a baby." He left me there and went whooping through the other room. When he came back, he was rattling off so much information. He had a dream about this, and now it's happening, so it must be a sign. My brain finally caught up, and I asked about the vasectomy. He said it's not 100% effective, right? Like condoms and pills. I was puzzled, as the only goalie we took out of the equation was condoms. He said it was a miracle, and I told him absolutely not. I explained that my best friend lives in a different state and I would be visiting her. I would also be going to a termination clinic there. He went silent. He asked me if I really hated him that much, and I didn't understand. I said I never want to be pregnant, and he knew this about me. That hasn't changed. He became extremely angry with me, saying I wouldn't dare unalive his child and that if I loved him, I would never threaten that again. He explained that he will take care of us, he makes plenty of money, and don't I treat you like a queen? So all he is asking is that I have the baby. I said I needed to go and started packing to go home. He followed me, repeating things like, "You won't though, right? You won't unalive my baby?" And similar statements. He kept asking where I was going, and I said home. I was too tired and emotional right now, and I wanted to go home. He stepped in the doorway and said no, insisting that we needed to talk about this. I started to get upset as he was blocking me, and I felt trapped. I asked him to move, and he said no. I asked him again, saying I wanted to go home, and he said no again. He said, "You are not leaving, what part of that don't you get?" I started crying and grabbed my phone, backing away from him and telling him to stay away from me. Finn looked really sad and said I couldn't be serious. He insisted he would never hurt me and asked me to stop crying. I demanded he let me leave, and he finally did. He has since been calling and texting me, begging me to talk to him. He says I really hurt him by pretending to be scared of him, as he would never hurt me. He said he treats me like a goddess, and I played the helpless victim card, and that things like that can ruin a man's life. He then said that I wasn't thinking straight and asked, "Is your brain lying to you again?" For context, when I have a PTSD or depressive episode, I sometimes say, "My brain is lying to me again," to make it seem like a less heavy topic. He has a very community-facing job, and I remember the look on his face when I backed away. I don't want to ruin his life or our relationship. In the moment, my emotions were so high that I just reacted. But I wasn't pretending. I sat in my car for God knows how long, shaking before I could drive home. I've been ignoring his attempts to reach out, but I feel like a coward. What should I do? Update 1. So I made an appointment and got the termination. It was honestly such a horrible experience, but my best friend was with me, and the whole staff was so kind and supportive, so I am grateful. Thank you to those who encouraged me to get it done. It was awful, but pregnancy and being trapped with him would have been much worse. Finn texted on Wednesday, apologized, and said he said things he didn't mean. He asked me to please answer my phone as I have been ignoring him. When he called again, my best friend recorded it all. Before I could finish saying hello, he went on a long bit about how amazing I am, how much he loves me, what a great mother he knows I will be, and that he will marry me immediately if that's a concern of mine. When I finally got to talk, I said that I am no longer pregnant, and that I never want to be, and that I was clear about this from the beginning. He asked if it was a miscarriage and then said, "Because I know you wouldn't willingly unalive our child, right? Say it's a miscarriage." I got quiet, and he said that it's okay, miscarriages are not the female's fault and that we can just try again. I said, "What do you mean again? We weren't trying to begin with. I was on birth control, and you had the vasectomy." And, as you all guessed, he laughed and said he lied about the vasectomy so I would give up on condoms. He had long decided I was perfect and he loved me and wanted me to be the mother of his kids. My best friend spoke up and said that was recorded and to leave me alone, or she would post it on social media. He started screaming at us. Then he sounded like he was crying and said I was a witch for this, that I am a hateful unaliver, and that I broke his heart. He went on to say if I tried to slander him to remember actions have consequences. He then broke up with me and said he will check back with me in a few days when I am actually alone, and we will talk in person to see if I have come to my senses. He wants us to go to church together Sunday, which is today, and set a time to pick me up. I said no, but I do have a ring cam, and sure enough, he showed up at my door. I watched him note that my car was not there, and at my front door, on camera, he texted me, asking if I was sleeping around on him and if I let the other man ride me like a wild horse without a condom. He said that if so, he gets a hall pass. He then said to come home immediately as we need to come to an understanding of our relationship ASAP. I return home tomorrow and don't know what to do. Edit. I won't be going home alone any longer, my bestie is coming with me, and I have a friend in the city who has my spare key and is now watching my home for me. I will be in a safe location with 2 male friends who know the whole story, and we are looking into options. Update 2. A lot happened in a short time, but I will try to make it brief. Finn came to my home again, but I was not there. On my ring cam, I saw him have a total fit. He was cursing me out, calling me on the phone, and when he got my voicemail, he muttered, "I'm going to effing unalive her," over and over again and said it super loud once before walking off. I have been getting a lot of hate mail, texts, and the like, calling me an unaliver. My Facebook was flooded with these messages as well, and most of the profiles were people who went to Finn's church. So I sent him a text that either the harassment stops or I will post the recordings of him. All of them, the call, his threats, the texts, his voicemails, all of it. He replied, "I have been patient in my love for you, but you are being a brat." He went on to say that I need to come to my senses and meet with him because he will no longer spoil me and discipline needs to be introduced to our relationship because actions have consequences. As for the rest, I will skip over a bit for the sake of brevity. My bestie said that I should go to the police, and we did, but nothing concrete has come of it yet, something I low-key expected, honestly. It's a small little city outside a bigger, more populated one, and the small-town vibes can run deep in certain circles. Many of the people go to the church Finn is at, and that includes a lot of the police department. It came to a head last week when I sent some of the recordings to his parents, who are on staff at the local megachurch in the area. His mom responded and asked to meet with me, so I went with my bestie to a public spot in the city. When she met with me, she was incredibly apologetic and said that his position at the church is terminated. The staff will meet about this and decide on the full measure of consequences as his church family. She told me that she herself had a termination before Finn was born, and her decision to do so came hugely from the fact that the father was manipulative and abusive, and she was not ready to be a mother even if she had a reliable and loving partner and co-parent. She went on to meet Finn's father, married him, and had her children. She told me that she isn't sure if I had a termination or miscarriage, but either way, I should not be harassed by Christians claiming to be pro-life. I can't explain to you the relief those words gave me, considering the vile messages I received. Finn's sister reached out to me via text to share that she does not condone what her brother has been doing and to reach out if I needed anything. Finn was later arrested for assault, but I don't know who he assaulted or why. I just know that he was taken into custody, and as he put me down as his partner, I was called to pick him up after he had been released. I didn't pick him up. I have since been looking for a new place to live as he knows my address and has come by more than a couple of times. I'm staying with 2 of my best friends away from my town, and my home is more or less storage for my things until I find a place to move. Finn sent me a text telling me that I am a cruel witch who ruined his life and broke his heart all because he loved me. He added that I shouldn't trouble myself with acting scared of him anymore because he is leaving the state soon for a new job. He ended the message with, I have, do, and always will love you, and perhaps one day your cold heart will melt and you can find within it your buried love for me. Like bro, take the sugar out of your Kool-Aid because I ain't drinking it anymore. Not to say everything is sunshine and roses. I have been in a lot of therapy and am finding that I overlooked many red flags and need to unlearn a lot of people-pleasing behaviors to become a more confident and true version of myself. Plus, my friends don't fully believe he is leaving town, so I am still staying with them for the time being. I love them a lot, but it's like having older siblings fussing about like mother hens. I cannot wait to have my new place. Thank you all for the kindness and support. I think this is my last update on the matter, as I don't intend on wasting any more time than I have to on that abusive piece of garbage. Remember, you know yourself best and can love yourself best. Life is too short not to make the right choices for yourself, your well-being, and your happiness because you matter. Update 3. So, I moved to Austin and took a pay cut. I can now say that I don't have to worry about Finn anymore. He's currently in prison, awaiting trial for unaliving somebody. I know a disjointed rendition of what happened. Finn got drunk out of his mind at a local bar, then got into a heated argument with a retired Marine because the Marine spoke about his wife's termination. They fought, Finn got beat up, the Marine left, and a regular gave Finn crap for talking smack and then getting beat up. So Finn fought him. He threw the guy into a wall, and he hit his head pretty bad. The guy was fine for a few days but passed away due to his injuries. I have since gotten a new job in Austin and was moving when I heard. Finn's father asked me to testify to his character and to say my termination caused this. I obviously didn't. I moved with only the essentials and had a wonderful summer traveling with friends. I just got back last week and am now unpacking my new home. Unrelated, but Austin is a fun freaking city. When I got back and logged on, I saw a lot of you were concerned about my safety, so I wanted to update. I'm totally okay, already have new friends, and I'm going to adopt possibly the cutest little senior Yorkie. I am literally in the waiting room where they will bring him out after he gets all his exit medical checks done. I'm also in the virtual queue for an adult Rottweiler, and it sounds like I might get her. So I may have her by the time the work week begins. Anyway, I wanted to say thanks to everyone who was supportive. Have a wonderful day.